If you're joining for the first time, there's a playlist showing how we modeled this character up to this stage. And now we're proceeding to create a rig for the character. This rig will be basic, but fully functional. In the next class, we'll create a more advanced system. Okay, so before we begin any rigging on our 3D character, we want to make sure the character is ready for rigging. Since I don't need this window, I'm going to close it. Right-click on the division line and choose Join Left. Here, we have the legs with a subdivision surface modifier, the shoes, and the ankles. These are all separate parts. Every part of the model that needs to deform must be a single mesh. By deformable, I mean the parts that will bend, like the knees, elbows, and neck. Those areas need to be joined into one mesh. The head and body, however, will remain separate because they'll stay rigid. Let's do this quickly. Select this part and check its modifiers. We can apply the solidify and bevel modifiers, but leave the subdivision modifier unapplied. To apply the modifier, just press Ctrl-A with your cursor on top of the modifier you want to apply. We no longer need the thin wire edge we used for the curve, so let's hide it. Go to the outliner, press the period key to find it, and simply disable its visibility. Now it's hidden. Let's apply the bevel on this one. If you have weighted normal or auto smooth, remove them. Make sure every object only has the subdivision surface modifier. If you used a mirror modifier earlier, apply that too. Apply the bevel modifier. Remove weighted normal. Make sure the other objects only have subdivision surface modifier on them. Now, select the entire head mesh. Be careful not to include the neck. Hold Shift and select one object last to make it active. Then press Ctrl-J to join them. The head is now a single mesh. Next, apply any remaining bevel modifiers on the other parts. You can press Ctrl-A on the modifier or use the drop-down arrow to apply. Check the orange mesh. It looks different from before because the solidify modifier's offset is negative. Set it to positive and reduce the thickness to 0.02. That looks better. Apply solidify and bevel, remove auto smooth, and keep only subdivision. Now everything for the body seems fine. Check behind. Apply the bevel there as well. Everything looks good now. Let's go to solid view. No issues here. Back to material preview. The meshes are clean. Before adjusting anything else, let's fix the ring under the body. Go to Edit Mode, Front View, press Alt-S to scale along normals to make it slightly bigger, then scale on Z and move it up with GZ. Perfect. Select these meshes, make sure one object is active, then press Ctrl-J to join. The shoulders and body are now one mesh. Do the same for the legs. Select and Ctrl-J. We're merging them because we don't want those parts to deform. You'll understand why once we start rigging. Only the neck, hands, legs, and shoes will bend. The head and body will stay rigid. Let's apply any remaining modifiers. Only subdivision should remain. Select the legs, the shoes, the ankle rings, the hands, and the neck, and join all of those together. You should now have three main parts: the head, body, and limbs. The mesh is almost ready for rigging. Switch to solid view and check face orientation. If any outward faces show red, it means they're flipped. Go into edit mode, press A to select all, then Alt-N and choose flip. Next, apply transforms on all objects. Ctrl-A, apply all transforms. That ensures location and rotation are set to 0 and scale is 1. Do this for all meshes, head, body, limbs. This is important for a clean, error-free rig. Right-click on the head and body and choose Set Origin to Geometry. The body's origin can stay at the world center. That's fine. Make sure your character is centered in the scene. In top view, check that it's evenly spaced on both sides. If you modeled with a mirror modifier, it'll already be centered. If not, adjust it manually so it sits in the middle of the grid. Now we can start rigging. Press Shift-A, Armature, Single Bone. Move it up with G and Z so the root sits inside the pelvis area. To make it visible through the mesh, go to the armature's Object Data Properties, Viewport Display, enable In Front. Press Tab to go to Edit Mode and adjust the bones. This main bone will be the chest. Move the tail down slightly so the root sits in the pelvis. Select the tail again, press E then Z to extrude upward for the neck, and extrude again for the head. The head bone can sit just above the skull. Select the chest bone, press E then X to extrude toward the shoulder joint. This will be the upper arm start. From there, extrude to the elbow, wrist, and finally the hand tip. The upper arm should be slightly shorter than the forearm. Now for the leg. Select the pelvis area, extrude down on Z for the thigh, again for the knee, and again for the ankle. Go to side view to adjust. Extrude out for the foot, then one more time for the toe. Bring the knee joint slightly forward, like a natural human knee bend. Give the elbows a slight backward bend in top view so Blender knows which direction to bend. Now it's time to name the bones properly. Select the head bone, go to the bone properties, rename bone to head. Select the neck bone, rename to neck. Select the chest bone, rename to chest. Select the shoulder bone, rename to shoulder.L. We add .L to the name so that Blender understands that this is the left side, so Blender can create the right side of the bone for us and name it accordingly. Select the rest of the bones and name them accordingly, making sure they end with .L. So for this bone, shoulder1.L. Next, upper arm.L. Lower arm.L. Hand.L. Now to the legs. Select the hip bone, rename this hip.L. Next, rename this hip1.L. Rename this hip2.L. This can be upper leg.L. And for this, lower leg.L. Let's call this feet.L. And finally, toe.L. Go through all the bones to make sure they are named properly. All the bones at the center, like the chest, neck, and head, do not require the extension .L. Only the bones to the right of the screen should have that extension. Also, know that you can name your bones whatever you wish. Just make sure you add the .L where required. Press A to select all bones, right-click, and choose Symmetrize. Blender will automatically create the right side bones with R. Now, press Slash for local view and Control Tab to enter pose mode. Rotate the bones to test if they're properly connected. Everything should move as expected. Arms follow shoulders, legs follow hips. Go back to Object Mode and exit Local View. Now we'll bind the mesh. Select the deforming mesh, arms, legs, neck. Shift select the armature. Control P with automatic weights. Select just the bone. Press Control Tab to switch to pose mode and rotate some bones. You'll see the mesh follow them. We don't want the head and body to deform, so we'll handle them differently. Experiment with selecting and rotating the hand, the neck, and leg bones to see what is affected by the just concluded parenting. To clear all rotation and scale, press A to select the entire bone while in pose mode. Press Alt and R to clear rotation, and Alt and G to clear position if you made those changes. Now your mesh should go back to its default T-pose. Press Ctrl plus Tab to go back to the object mode. If you try to move the bone while in object mode, you can see that only the neck, hands, and legs follow the bone. That's because the head and chest has not been parented to the bone yet. So let's start with the head. Select the head, Shift, select the armature, Control P with empty groups. The head is now parented but has no weight influence. Now select the armature, Shift-select the head, and enter Weight Paint mode. Hold Alt and click the head bone to activate it. Set weight equals 1, strength equals 1. Press N to open the side panel. Click on Tool. Change Blend mode to Add. Turn on X-ray wireframe and paint the entire head red, front and back. Switch back to Pose mode and rotate the head bone. The head now moves rigidly with no deformation. Do the same for the body. Object mode, select body, Shift-select armature, Control-P with empty groups. Then select the armature, Shift-select the body, Weight Paint mode. To make it faster, instead of brushing, switch to Edit mode. Select all faces. Choose the chest vertex group, set weight equals 1, and click Assign. Return to Weight Paint mode, you'll see it's fully red. Now go back to Pose mode. Rotate the chest bone. The body follows rigidly. The neck still bends smoothly. If your viewport is lagging, reduce the subdivision viewport level to 0, but leave the render level intact. Now, everything should move smoothly. The head and body are rigid. The arms, legs, and neck deform properly. Let's strike a simple flying pose. Turn on X-axis mirror so both legs move together. Rotate the legs back. Tilt the chest forward. If the bones look distracting, in object mode, select the armature object data properties, display as stick. Raise one arm and lower the other like a flying pose. Rotate the head upward and slightly to the side. And that's it. We've completed our basic rig. It's not perfect, but it's functional and a solid start for posing. In the next class, we'll look at how weight painting works in more detail, and then create a more advanced animation-ready rig with better controls. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.